have you ever found yourself just scratching your head, wondering why some products seem to just get you, they just click, while well, others just fall flat, even with huge investment behind them? Turns out it's often less about some random flash of genius and more about a really methodical way of understanding the actual problem first. And that's really what we do here on the Deep Dive. We take a whole stack of sources, could be articles, research, maybe even our own notes, and we pull out the most important bits of knowledge, the key insights. It's basically your shortcut to getting properly informed, maybe with a few surprising facts, and hopefully just enough humor to keep you listening. So today we're diving deep into something called the BUS method, MATE. It's a framework, really, for product development. BUS stands for business problem. That's B, user problem U, and solution S. And here's something interesting. Did you know a huge chunk of product failures aren't because they were built badly, but because they misunderstood the problem they were trying to solve in the first place? The BUS method aims right at that core issue.
Turns that potential pitfall into, well, maybe your biggest advantage. This deep dive is going to show you how it helps create products that work for the business and are genuinely valuable for users. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. The BUS method. You're saying it's a structured path for product design, for management. What's the real core purpose here? And why is being so disciplined about it? Why is that framework so important for teams trying to innovate, but maybe without, burning cash?
Yeah, it's fascinating because it really targets one of the perennial challenges in product development. Just building the right thing. Its main job, its core purpose, is aligning those business goals really tightly with what users genuinely need. It makes sure products aren't just, built, but that they actually hit the company's strategic targets and solve real problems for the people using them. And that's especially powerful, I think, for teams who want to innovate, but need to stay grounded in what the company is actually trying to achieve. The evidence we've seen suggests its real value comes from cutting down risks. Big time. Because it forces you right up front to really grapple with the problems the business one, the user one, before you even think about solutions or features. It's like building the foundation properly, not just worrying about the paint color.
Right, so it's diagnostic first. Understand before you act. That's a big shift, actually. Okay, let's dig into that first piece then. The beast, business problem. For you listening, think about the fundamental strategic reason. Why does this product, this feature, even exist for the company?
Exactly. This first stage is purely about understanding the core business challenge. What hurdle is this product supposed to help the company overcome? And we're not talking symptoms here, like sales are down, we need the root cause. Maybe it's user acquisition flatlining, even though marketing spend is up. Or maybe high churn rates, losing valuable customers. The critical questions you have to nail are, what specific business goal is this product trying to hit? And this is vital. How are we going to measure success? You need a clear, quantifiable outcome right from the get-go.
Okay, I get the need for clear metrics, absolutely. But thinking practically, I've definitely seen situations where different teams, different stakeholders have kind of conflicting ideas about what the main business problem even is. Does the BUS method help sort that out? Or is that sort of outside its lane?
Oh, no, that's a great point, and it's definitely in its lane. The B stage, done right, actually forces that conversation, forces consensus. Because you have to land on a measurable outcome tied to a specific business challenge, it becomes the common ground, the reference point. So for instance, if leadership agrees the core problem is, say, low conversion from our free trial to the paid plan, and the goal is 15% lift in 6 months, well, that becomes the guiding star for everyone involved. Or think about maybe a B2B software company, right? They're struggling because their customer support teams are totally swamped dealing with complex feature questions. Their business goal might be, reduce support tickets related to feature X by 30% by enabling self-service. No. Defining that upfront aligns everyone with the strategy, sets super clear goals for the product team, and kind of cuts through those internal disagreements.
That makes a lot of sense. Get the why locked down first. Okay, so once you've got the business need nailed, then we pivot. Right? We look at the people who will actually use this thing. Because you can have the clearest business goal ever, but if you don't understand who you're building for and what their real struggles are, well, you're just building in the dark. Which brings us naturally to the user problem.
Yeah, this is where the focus really shifts. It demands empathy, deep empathy. It means doing the hard work, the research to understand your target users. What are their specific pain points? How can this product genuinely make their lives, or maybe their work, better? It's not about guessing or assuming. It's about uncovering the truth. The key questions become, okay, who exactly are these users and what are their specific unmet needs, their frustrations? What do they wish they could do? You're really trying to walk a mile in their shoes, see the world from their point of view.
And when we talk about user pain points,
Yeah.
can you give some examples that go a bit deeper than just, say, it's hard to find stuff? What are some of those maybe less obvious frustrations you might find?
Oh, definitely. Think about maybe an online platform for researchers. The pain point might be decision paralysis because there are just too many similar data sets. It makes comparing complex stuff really hard. Or back to that B2B software company example. The user problem might be, I can't quickly customize reports for my boss without spending hours manually fiddling with data exports. These aren't things you just stumble upon, right? You find them through really targeted user interviews, maybe ethnographic studies, watching how people actually work, detailed surveys, not just a simple feedback button. Understanding these specific, sometimes hidden user problems is what makes the product feel truly user-centric. And that massively boosts satisfaction, adoption rates, all the good stuff. But maybe more importantly, it dramatically lowers the risk of building something nobody actually needs or something that only scratches the surface of their real problem.
Got it. So B is the business why, U is the user's what's wrong.
Remember?
Now, we bring those together to figure out the how of the solution, the S and BUS. This feels like where the creativity really comes in after all that investigation.
It is creative, yeah, but it's, let's call it guided creativity. It's creativity within constraints. The stage is about brainstorming features, functionalities that don't just solve the user's problem, but also directly help achieve those business goals we defined way back in stage B. And critically, the solution has to be, well, three things. Feasible, can we actually build it? Desirable, do users genuinely want it? And viable, does it make sense for the business long term? The big questions here are, okay, what specific features will fix the user's pain and push us towards that business target? And also, how do we make sure the solution isn't just clever on paper, but actually practical and appealing in the real world?
That's a really important distinction. Can you give an example of a solution that really nails that balance, delighting the user, but also, helping the business?
Sure. Let's stick with the B2B sauce example. Business problem. Support team overloaded. User problem. Can't customize reports easily. The solution might be a new feature, an intuitive drag-and-drop report builder with smart pre-built templates. For the user, less manual work, faster insights. Big win. For the business, maybe that translates directly into a 20% drop in support tickets related to reporting. Measurable impact. And you'd validate this, of course, through prototypes, user testing, getting it in front of real people early. The solution absolutely has to make users happy while driving business growth that have to go hand in hand. And this is where being iterative is key. You might launch something, let's say for that research platform, you launch an AI search feature, super smart, but maybe it turns out some users find it harder to trust the results and engagement actually drops. Well, then that solution, however technically cool, isn't working because it's hurting the business goal. You need to pivot, rethink.
Okay, so BUS, business problem, user problem, solution. It seems logical, but stepping back. What does this all mean for someone actually doing product development? Why does this framework work so well? What are the core principles making it more than just like a three-step checklist?
That's a really good question. Its effectiveness, I think, comes down to how its structure inherently reduces risk and forces alignment. It's not just a process, it changes how you think. There are probably three main reasons it's so powerful. First, user centricity, like truly baked in. By making you obsess over the user problem first, it dramatically increases the chances of hitting product market fit. Users feel understood, the product feels like it was made for them. Second, business alignment, absolutely crucial. Tying everything back to those clear business goals and metrics ensures the work actually matters to the company's bottom line. It stops teams just building features for feature's sake, the feature factory problem. And third, and maybe the biggest one, risk mitigation. This is where you see huge value. By tackling the problems before you commit resources to building solutions, you slash the risk of creating something nobody needs or that doesn't achieve the business objectives. Our sources show this approach can seriously cut down on wasted development time and money spent on features that just don't land. Resources go where they'll have the most impact.
That's incredibly powerful, minimizing that risk of building the wrong thing. Okay, so for you listening, if you're thinking, okay, I want to try this, what are the actual practical steps? How do you implement the BUS method? And maybe just as important, what are some best practices to make sure it actually works in the messy reality of, day-to-day work?
All right, let's break it down. There are basically 4 core steps, but think of them as a cycle, not just a straight line. First, define the business problem. This means doing the analytical homework. Dig into the data, identify the real challenge, get all your key stakeholders nodding in agreement, and set those clear, measurable goals. You might be analyzing, say, customer lifetime value data to see exactly where churn hurts revenue the most, that kind of thing. Second, Understand the user problem. This is where you do serious user research. We're talking interviews, maybe watching users work, ethnography, usability tests, not just simple surveys. And then validate what you find with data. Maybe you run diary studies and find out it's actually decision paralysis stopping people from adopting a feature, not just that it's hard to use.
Yeah.
Clear. Third, develop the solution. Now, you brainstorm, you build quick prototypes, you test them, you iterate based on feedback. Always checking. Is this feasible? Is it desirable? Maybe you A/B test a new onboarding flow designed specifically to tackle that decision paralysis you uncovered. And fourth, validate and measure. Launch the solution, but don't stop there. Track those key metrics you defined earlier: conversion rates, retention, support tickets, whatever they are, and keep gathering feedback for the next round of improvements. For that B2B example, this is where you'd confirm, yep, we saw that 30% drop in support tickets after launching the new report builder. Proof it worked. Okay, and then for best practices, these are crucial for making it stick. Number 1, cross-functional collaboration. Absolutely essential. Get marketing, sales, engineering, design, customer support involved from the very beginning. You need all those perspectives. Number 2, an iterative approach. This isn't waterfall. You have to be willing to revisit earlier stages as you learn more. New data might change your understanding of the user problem, for example. 3, data-driven decisions. Use research, B/B tests, surveys to back up your choices and challenge your own assumptions. Gut feelings are great, but data keeps you honest. 4, deep user empathy. Spend real time trying to understand your users. Interviews, empathy maps, maybe even trying to do their job for a day. Get inside their heads. 5, feasibility assessment. Be realistic. Can this actually be built with the resources and technology you have? Is it sustainable? Don't design castles in the sky. 6, prioritization. You can't solve every problem at once. Focus on the issues that will have the biggest impact first. Be ruthless about it. And finally, 7, feedback loops. Build ways to continuously get feedback after launch. Surveys, support channels, analytics. Keep listening so you can keep improving.
Wow, okay. So business problem, user problem, solution. We've really unpacked that. The BUS method sounds deceptively simple, maybe, but actually a really powerful tool for bringing discipline to product development. It's like having a reliable map or maybe a GPS for building things that people actually need and that help the business succeed.
It really is, and its power to cut risk, boost impact, and make users genuinely happier. You see that working across all sorts of industries. Doesn't matter if it's complex enterprise software or a simple mobile app. For anyone involved in building products, adopting this kind of iterative, data-informed approach, making sure you've got those diverse teams collaborating, and always focusing on the highest impact problems first, that's going to lead to better products, definitely, but also just a smarter, more efficient way of working all together.
So a final thought to leave you with. Thinking about your own work, your own projects, what problem are you trying to solve right now? And how might looking at it through these lenses, the business lens, the user lens, the solution lens, how might that fundamentally change your approach? If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share it, with others who might benefit too. To learn more about product management and digital marketing, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update.